village that's kind of been looking out for you. I guess just kind of start with what maybe the Nick's family and Aiden's family, all of them, they've all kind of helped you along in this process over the last year. I guess what has that support level been like?
It's been amazing, to have especially women, in your life, that actually cares about you and genuinely looks out for you. Despite my situation and everything, they always been good women before all of this happened. I met them before, and then just being able to lean on them and stuff through all of this stuff just make me feel better about the situation. I have people that actually care about me, pour support into me. Whenever I need help, I can reach out to them. And it's just been amazing. We built relationships with my siblings. They have relationships with my siblings. So it's not just me. It's all of us. We all always can count on them. And I appreciate Nick's family. Aiden's mom and his family, Jordan's mom and their family. It's just been amazing.
It's been mentioned that you have a village. Help educate us when someone is dealing with a tragedy. We want to say, hey, we want to support you, but also want to talk about football too. How do you help us get the best out of you when you're going through what you're going through and still being highlighted for being an outstanding football player too?
Well, for me, like for myself, like I try to keep this motto of despite how I'm feeling, I have to handle business. And that's just how my mom raised me, because we always went through trials and tribulation. Like, what you gonna do when you're back against the wall? How do you handle adversity? And that's just how I handle everything in my everyday life, So coming out to the football field, coming to practice with my guys, this is business for me, on top of something I love to do. So being able to, come out here and do what I love to do, despite how I'm feeling, like it makes me happy.
And as a follow-up, despite the unique challenges that you're dealt with, what bright spots have you been able to pull out of your recent weeks, days, etc.?
Can you repeat that question?
What bright spots have you pulled out? You got a lot going on, but what bright spots have you been able to pull out? With what's happening with football and even things you're dealing with your life, with your family.
I'm able to, I'm happy that I'm able to, do everything that I'm doing, find a way around it and stuff, and that my siblings don't have to suffer or go through all of the stress of worrying about their next move, where they're going to live, feel me, how they're going to take care of themselves, anything like that, So I try to take all of that off of them, and it made me feel good knowing that they're happy and don't have anything to worry about.
It's not a question. You're an inspiration to so many. We respect that.
For sure.
The 2-point conversion, when you get the pass breakup, what was that feeling like? And the first game where you recover a fumble in the end zone too. I mean, there's some big impact plays.
I'm just trying to give my all for the team. I break my back for them. I give whatever I have for my team. So in that moment, we just needed to stop no matter who it was. You know what I'm saying? So for me to make that stop, it just felt good to take some pressure off our offense to come win the game in the next drive. So it just felt great, despite who, like, it don't matter who it was. It could have been a defensive lineman. It would have been feeling the same for me, We got the stop.
What was that first start like for you?
It just felt amazing. It was a huge relief. I've been through a lot of, setbacks and things over the past few years, surgeries, injuries, death, grief, and all of that. So it just feels real good being able to go through all of that and grow from it, I haven't been able to display myself, so being able to start for the first time in a long time, it just feels great, I'm just happy to be back. I'm flying around, feel like myself again. I'm gaining all of my old confidence back and everything, so it just feels great.
Can you talk a little bit, Armorion, about just the difference that a year ago we saw you in the season? I'm assuming, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm guessing your focus probably wasn't all the way on football. Is it different this year? Is that allowed you to play the way we've seen you play?
Last year I couldn't focus. It was all new to me. I was gambling with everything at once. Couldn't be here all the time. Couldn't get all of the installs and all of the details, full delivery of what's expected and what's the standard. So I was just gambling with a lot. My mind, I couldn't focus, like you said. So I felt like I had to take time off to get everything in line. So once it was time for me to, take these, step on the stage, I won't have no problems. I had all year to stay locked in and focused. I haven't missed a day, haven't missed a camp. So, like, for me, that was huge for me, being able to be here. You know what I'm saying? So,
what's that difference on the field, that feeling? Is it like a freeness, I guess, or just what is that like?
I just feel like, for me, it's just like a relief, like I said. Like, I go out there, take a deep breath, and it's just like I went through everything, and it was all worth it. Finally get to do what I love to do, you feel me, and play at my highest potential. So, it just feels great.
James Adams talked about how you compartmentalize things and kind of go A to B to C. How do you do that? How have you learned to sort of address everything you got going on and be able to, not miss a day here and still take care of what you need to optimally?
So like he said, I compartmentalize. So what he's saying is like basically I'm like three different persons, like three different people in one day. I gotta be a parent, I gotta be an athlete, I gotta be a student. You feel me? So each day I have a schedule. So like my mornings, like my first half of the day is me being a student athlete. You know, handle all of my football, school, and everything I have to do. You know what I'm saying? Then I know my siblings have school. You know, I drop them off in the morning. I try to find a way around everything to make it work for everybody. So I get them to school, and while they're at school, I know they're safe and everything. I don't have anything to worry about, so I can focus. Then when I'm done, get in parent mode, go pick them up from school. You know, drop them off, feed them, things of that nature. Then our schedule, I work around it with my coaches and let them know any like conflicts or anything, so they understanding with that, and it's giving me some grace, you know what I'm saying, to be here, as much as I can. So, and then, yeah, just being a parent, I just try to like, like manage the time, I'm trying to manage the time with everything, you know what I'm saying? Like, I stay on the schedule and it's the same schedule every day, so.
Did you have the conversations with your mom about before she passed that you would take care of everything?
Yeah, so my mom was scared for me. We talked about it. She mentioned other things, but like we both knew that those wouldn't work in our family's favor. But like she just wanted to know if I was capable of doing it. And like I told you before, she prepped me into when it's adversity, how you gonna handle it. So like I had to figure it out. I had to find ways to make it work for all of us, me and my siblings, and for me to be here for this team. So
how is, I guess, well, what is the biggest difference between being a brother and being a parent guardian for your?
So it's kind of a challenge because my siblings, I'm their big brother, of course, but like being a guardian, it's like it's rules and line, it's a lot of things that goes with being a guardian and they have to listen, So it's like, me being their big brother, some things they might not agree with, because I'm their brother, but like it's in your best interest. You feel me? It's for everybody. It's bigger than you, it's bigger than me. It's for all of us at the end of the day. So you gotta follow line.
With all that you have going on, I know you have your football family and of course your immediate family. But what does it take for someone to be your friend or just to be someone that kind of get in kind of closer to you?
So me, I'm a very caring person. I feel for people, like especially who goes through worse than me or even the same as me. So I'm a very caring person. As long as you have genuine love, and I stand on loyalty, principles and stuff like morals. So if you have those and stuff, and I can trust you, and you're genuine, like you will be fine with me. You know what I'm saying? And as long as you stand like taking care of your business and take care of your family as a man, you get all the respect from me. All the glory from me. I just don't like being stabbed in the back, betrayed, or disloyalty and stuff like that. So.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Has the last year or so changed your perspective at all on football? I'm thinking like, guys come in, they want to go to the NFL. I think it's like the most important thing in your life.
Yeah.
You have other things that are more important than football. And does that allow you to come back to football and sort of see it in a different way, where it's obviously important, of course,
Yeah.
but
So
it's not sort of life or death necessarily?
yeah. So every kid grew up wanting to go to the NFL and things like that. That's still my dream. Don't get me wrong, but me having to go through all of these things, just teaching me like life's bigger. You feel me? I'm sorry. Let me put this another way. Like everything not gonna go how you want it to go. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff that happens on the road. You got to be able to respond. So like me responding to this is showing me like my cards are different now. Like if I want to go to the league, I gotta play my cards differently than I would like a year ago from now. You know what I'm saying? So like back then I could just focus like solely on football to get there, but now I have all of these other things. But like I'm starting to learn myself as well. Like so if I didn't go to the NFL, like what type of person am I? What am I gonna do after football? So like it's starting to teach me the type of person I am.
How does all of this feed that hunger to get there? Because I mean, obviously, the paychecks there are probably bigger than our business. That's for sure.
Since I was a child, I always told my mom like, no matter what I gotta do to get there, you won't have to work no more. My goal is to make you retire. Now she's gone. But like with all of that, like my siblings benefit from it as well. So feel me? My biggest goal is to make sure anybody that I love, like my family that live with me, don't have to worry about none of that, especially with my mom gone, with her being the one taking care of everybody. Yeah, that's just my biggest goal, no matter how I do it, no matter how I get there. But football is just my best chance of doing it.
Do your siblings watch your games?
Most definitely, yeah, huge fans. They're probably my biggest fans.
How did they react to your performance the last game when you get home and you see them?
We stayed up to like 4 a.m. and they just excited because they used to watching me play. I played in high school. I was a big player in high school, and they watched me go through all of these things, and they went through it with me. And it's just like you went through everything, and you still didn't fold. You didn't give up. You didn't throw in the white towel. You feel me? You was able to overcome the adversity, and we sit there and talk about it and everything. And I'm like a role model to them, so it's like it's huge for them.
That was the question I was going to ask about your role model. Who inspires you? People you know, people you may not know, but who have you kind of drawn inspiration from?
My mom's my biggest role model. Me and her, like I watched her go through everything. I was her firstborn. Like, she was young when she had me, so I watched her grow from a younger woman to a grown woman who had to go through a lot of things and overcome things. She was my biggest role model, and I wanted to be just like her. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to be a provider. Even though the man's supposed to provide, we didn't have that. You feel me? And then just seeing her have to go through things like that alone and stuff like that just pushed me to go harder. Like, I want to be that man for my mom. Feel me? That she don't have to go through any of this no more in the future. So.
Right. Thank you.
Good. All right.